Welcome back, Ratchet and Clank fans. Blitzringer come back at you with another review, and today I'm taking a look at the Ratchet and Clank line of figures, and today we're taking a look at the one who's known as the Smuggler. So without further ado, let's take a closer look. As you can see, the head sculpt is really nice, and that's the thing about this figure. I don't really know if you could call it a figure. It's more like a statue, but look at the paint and the actual sculpting. It's very cool, because as you can see, I mean, not only is it portraying the characters pretty well, it looks a lot like the character from the animation model, but at the same time it was able, like the way that they made this figure is able to transition the aesthetic of the animated and the kind of like a game model into real life, because of the paints being very vibrant and very, like, they don't look like cheap paints. They definitely look like a paint that you would have to invest a little bit of money into in order to get it to look the way it does. There's a lot of different paint applications. You can see just on the torso there, and the paint keeps working all the way down. I mean, his pants, even those kind of army green pants, all those pants, they got kind of like different hues of green in them mixed in, so it seems like it's done with different types of greens, which is very nice. This knife right here on his belt buckle, unfortunately, is not removable. It just hangs there, but it's a nice little addition of detail, and it's cool that they actually went ahead and sculpted it on. You know what I mean? Better there than none. You can't complain for detail. So overall, just a very well painted and sculpted figure in that regard. And again, figure is a little bit of a difficult thing to call it. Now, it has a bit of an issue, as you can see right there. So the problem is the fact that his feet, the way that they're sculpted, as you can see right here, they point up, kind of his toes are pointing up, and as a result of that, he has a really hard time standing on his own. Like, a lot of times he just topples forward. Even if you pull the legs way back, he'll just go ahead and keep falling forward, which is a real problem, especially for something that is not very well articulated, which is why I would recommend having a base. Like right here, I've got a base from a Two-Face figure, and once you put it in, he stands really nicely, and the posability, then you can take advantage of whatever there is there, because otherwise you can't even use the little possibility that he already has. Now, the articulation is where this figure really suffers. I mean, like, look, he's got a swivel at the head, and it seems like more that his articulation exists only for the fact that they wanted this to qualify as an action figure, to give it some joints. And it seems like in a lot of cases, like the head, the only reason the articulation is even then is because that's where the figure was bonded. But I mean, it's because the way that the legs are articulated and everything, it seems like it's more of a statue again. So I'm just warning you, if you're like a Marvel Legend collector and you want to have a highly articulated Ratchet and Clank figure, this is definitely not something that you want to get invested in, because these are more just pieces to put on your shelf to look nice next to your video games, just kind of as a presentation piece, nothing other than that. Now, as far as the Smuggler's accessories, he's got, first of all, he's got this really nice looking parrot, which he always had on his shoulder if you've ever played the Ratchet and Clank games. So that's a nice addition that they even put it in, because technically, I mean, I guess it's another character, but it's nice that they actually put it in as an accessory. Very cool. And it's very cool that it's also removable, because right here, as you can see, there's a hole and there's a peg on the bottom of his feet there, or foot, I guess. I don't know if he's got one foot. And you just push it on in there, and it holds on fairly well. Now, the only problem is that once you do that, then his head articulation is even more limited, because he's got that big cowboy hat. So a lot of times when you'll maneuver the hat, you'll by mistake hit the bird, and there goes the birdie, you know. Now, his other accessory is this really cool gun, and I really love this gun. If you want to get this figure and are not quite sure, but you kind of want it, but this gun really is worth it, especially because you could use it for other figures as well. It's a really cool futuristic looking gun, a lot of orange and paint details there, and then these parts here swivel, which is like for the effect of having a machine gun. You know, it's got a lot of rapid fire bullets coming, so that's really nice. Overall, I think it's fairly well done. The problem is that here he's only can hold it in the right hand. He can only hold it in the right hand, because the left hand, the way it's sculpted outwards, so you can't hold it in the left hand. So overall, as I've said previously, this definitely isn't quite an action figure, so to speak, quote unquote. It's more of a statue or just a representation piece, and if you want that, then it's definitely going to be worth the price of admission. But if you're someone who wants to have actual action in your action figures, you're going to be quite disappointed, because this figure is very stale and boring in that regard and sense. But if you're a fan of the series, it's definitely going to be worth it for you. Alright guys, remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching.